It was one of the first times, probably the second time I did it. Andy Baddeley, I think, who holds the course record there. So when he ran his course record, I was in the race, and I sent him the wrong way. He meant to turn left at the going up, and we carried straight on, so we went along the top, past like the White Elephant area, along the gravel path instead. And then suddenly we realised that we'd gone the wrong way, and he probably, I don't know, he said something to me, "You idiot," or something, and then sprinted off. If I run 3:36, which is sort of my aim, I'll only be 1 second off the Olympic qualifying standard. At the moment, I'm only 3 seconds off, so it's definitely doable. I improved last year by 3 seconds, so it's actually done me a favour, the Olympics being pushed back. I've also got the under-23 European champs as well, which was sort of my main goal, and then I started running these quicker times. I was thinking, hang on a second, I could maybe go sort of one better.
Hi, my name is Michelle Lewis. 10 years ago, you'd have been lucky to see me run to the end of the road. These days, running is second nature to me. From marathons to park runs to putting my own running group through their paces. You'll often see me in suitably loud attire, getting ready to pound the pavements. And here's a secret, if I can do it, you can too. There's so many wonderful and inspiring stories in the world of running. And not just running, some of my favourite tales involve those who take to their wheelchairs, bikes or simply their own trusty feet in an attempt to get fitter, faster or just have some fun. In this podcast, I'm going to be in conversation with some of the most inspiring and fascinating of these people. Remember, it's your time, your speed, your way. The only person you need to keep up with is yourself. Welcome back to another episode of the Running Tales podcast. This week, I've been speaking to a star in the making, Josh Ley. He's a 1500 metre runner with his sights set on the Tokyo Olympics. And he's from my neck of the woods, Northampton. So we have plenty to chat about. I asked him how his running journey started.
Probably when I was 12, 13. I wouldn't sort of suggest it was sort of London 2012 Olympics and stuff, but that sort of definitely pushed me into joining an athletics club. So I joined Rugby Northampton, which was at Sixfields at the time. I don't know what actually just came to my head, but I remember my first coach being Andy Bird. I don't know if anyone remembers him. Some people might. And he was sort of really enthusiastic and stuff. And yeah, between sort of 12 and maybe sort of year 7, I spent a lot of time at the club. And then I went to Northampton School for Boys, where, I sort of joined the cross-country team there and athletics team and stuff. And became really good friends. Well, my coach, who I sort of still call my coach to this day, Tony Love. I know his brother John Love was quite big in the sort of setting up the whole club at Rugby Northampton as well. And he sort of took me under his wing. And at the time, there were some really sort of quite good runners at the school, which I sort of still idolise in a weird way. I still kind of think that they're like better than me, even though they probably aren't even running now. But yeah, like Luke Greer, who does a lot of the park runs at Northampton and stuff. Between sort of year 7 and 8, I sort of just had fun. I really enjoyed it, and then I got a stress fracture in my back. So it's like a small hairline fracture in my vertebrae, and that was basically from just doing too much sport in general, not sort of running, but I was doing tennis, football, rugby, athletics, everything. I just sort of like being outside and stuff. I suppose social media and I wasn't really a thing back then, and also never had an Xbox or anything like that. So a lot of sort of my friends and stuff play Xbox and stuff, but I'd rather sort of, well, back then especially, sort of just be outside. So that knocked my confidence quite a lot. I didn't do any sport for about 4 or 5 months, and then got back to it eventually, but I was really unfit, and my PB at the time, 1500, was 4:56 or something, and then when I got back to it a year and a half later, I ran like 5:10.
So going back to your early years, you just mentioned 1500 metres, which we know it seems to be your distance right now. When you was at school, and when you watched the Olympics, when you started, was you starting out thinking the 100 metres, or did you think, when you saw Mo going round, or, did you think, oh, that's the distance I want to try for? Or was it the 1500 straight away?
I always knew I was never going to be a 100 metre, and I'm not quick enough, and I'm too sort of skinny, and you just get a stereotype for what a 100 metre runner looks like, and that's not me. I don't know. I mean, Mo's race inspired me quite a lot. I like the look of that a bit more. I don't think I actually did. I watch it. I can't remember if I watched the 1500 or not. I was sort of more just interested in Mo at the time and all that side of things, and that kind of just sort of pushed me into that sort of path of doing it. But yeah, it took me a long time to get to where I am now. I was developed really late. So between sort of the ages of year 8 and year 9, probably year 10 as well, I was still getting beat by people 1 or 2 years younger than me. Just I suppose, like boys especially, all develop at different rates and stuff. I remember people like a guy called Adam Caulfield, who still runs and does some stuff with me, but he was 2 years younger than me, and I remember sort of doing training sessions in sort of year 10 and like being almost like scared that I'd get beat by him in sessions and stuff. And it's just those sort of small things which, so I don't know, spur you on a way, and then you start to get closer to them and you start beating them. Through this whole sort of period, all the way up to year 13, which I was sort of coached by Tony Love. We'd do sort of a session Monday and Wednesday. We never went on a proper track. We did it all on the grass track at Northampton School for Boys. And every Monday, Wednesday we went there. A typical session, I don't know, was like 600 metres, 200 metre jog, and then 200 metres again. We'd do that sort of 4 or 5 times. And we'd all time it ourselves on like a stopwatch you'd give us and stuff. And we'd all have like a slightly different session all drawn out on this sort of big board. So it was like really exciting as well, and like it was good socially as well. There was loads of sort of friends and stuff who did that with me as well.
So when you know, from your stress fracture, which I interrupted earlier, sorry about that, you were saying that you got back out there, but your friends, you know, they're into their Xboxes and whatever. What drove you to get back out there? Is it the fact that you had a coach that was so supportive? You had running club members that you thought, nah, they're the people that give me that buzz, give me the strength that I need?
Yeah, I probably just never thought there was any option to quit. I don't know. I always just sort of thought I'll just get back into a routine when I do. I never would have imagined quitting running. Sort of thing that wouldn't have been something. But at the time, I was sort of really into football as well. All my friends played for academies, and in fact, one of my best friends still is a professional footballer in the French Premier League sort of thing over there now. So we won the National Football Cup, the English schools basically version for football, and I represented England for football in like the English schools cup thing basically. So I didn't play for England, but I played for England schools. And I probably got into football first actually after the stress fracture, but then again I realised that running was where my strength was. I was only good at football because I could run so much.
So it was like put him at the side or goalie.
Yeah, no, I was just in the middle of the pitch, just running around and tackling, and then passing to the better players who actually make things happen. I was a bit of a workhorse.
So how did you feel then when parkrun started?
I can't really remember sort of it actually sort of happening. I just remember going to my first one. That was sort of part of our whole sort of training routine. I'd go with Tony because I live opposite Abington Park. So from my house, I'd run to the race course.
Okay, show off. Just for a warm up.
Do the 2 laps, and then do a session after or something. So I'd get probably like 10k in or something. But no, it's really good event. I remember actually, it was one of the first times, probably the second time I did it. Andy Baddeley, I think, who holds the course record there.
Yes, I met him in Irchester last year, at the end of last year.
Yeah, so when he ran his course record, I was in the race, and I sent him the wrong way.
Josh, parkrun is not a race; it's a run.
Okay, it's a run. I look at everything as a race, but yeah, it's a run. In the run, I sent him the wrong way. We meant to turn left.
I heard
going up, and we carried straight on, so we went along the top, past like the White Elephant area, along the gravel path instead. And then suddenly we realised that we'd gone the wrong way, and he probably, I don't know, he said something to me, "You idiot," or something, and then sprinted off. 14 13, 14, 14 may have run.
He still holds it. He still holds it. I've told him he's got to come back. I'm bored seeing his name and that time. I need a different time up there.
Yeah.
So what about you? Have you not tried to break it? Or
I mean, I did a 5K in Armagh, Ireland, and I ran 13:55, which is my actual time was 13:53, which was my chip time because I wasn't on the front line, so they go off the chip time. But the gun time was 13:55, and the British record for under 20s was 13:54. So I've actually got the British record. However, it's not official because it's not the gun time; it's the chip time.
Oh no!
So I've got it, but I haven't got it, kind of thing. So yeah. So I will give parkrun another go at some point. It's just when I'm back in Northampton, probably sort of, I don't know, October, November time maybe, if the weather's good as well.
And how do you feel? Do you know Michael Aldridge Hobbs, who won the Milton Keynes Marathon? He's usually in the top 3 as well. And I imagine him being one of your competitors when you're doing parkrun.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was like 15 or 16, I used to sort of always look to see if he was there and stuff. I've beaten him a couple of times. I think he's beaten me a couple of times. So yeah, no, it'd be fun to race him again.
So then, obviously, you're only 20. So you went from GCSEs to A-levels. When did it become, hang on, I've got something here, I want to make a career out of it, or I want to push further and see if I can run for my country? Or is that jumping ahead, or is that realistic to say?
I think when was it, in year 12, I ran 3:53 for 1500. Which was the Commonwealth Youth Games standard, and I didn't know, but I did it, and then eventually got selected to run for England in the Commonwealth Youth Games in the Bahamas. And that was when I was 17, and I came second. So it was a Kenyan, then myself, then another one of my really good friends who came third, and then it was a Kenyan Australian and stuff. So yeah, that was probably when I sort of realised, oh, hang on, this could actually be I could make something out of this. And then the following year I won my national champs, and then the year just gone I moved to Loughborough to study product design, and it just sort of went from there.
Isn't Loughborough a sports university, or
no, it is. I mean, predominantly people think of Loughborough as sport, but it's also really good for engineering and stuff, and sort of product design is sort of along those lines. So I did it for sort of both reasons. But yeah, I mean, the running had a massive sway, and I just sort of started sort of putting consistent weeks of sort of 50 miles a week or 60 miles a week together, and it just started to sort of add up really nicely. And then I ran when was it, last summer? Yeah, I became a British University champion, which was a bit of a shock. It's 3 races in 3 days. So you do the heat, semi-final, and then final, which I've never
Is this
done.
Still the 1500 metres?
Yeah, still 1500 again. And that came as a complete surprise. That was at Bedford, so I'd go back and forth from Northampton to Bedford each day, which got a bit boring towards the end. When I ran the European qualifying standard, won the nationals, and I went to the Europeans and came third. So it all happened really sort of quickly. It's sort of just been, I don't know, I mean, it feels like yesterday that I was still at NSB sort of running laps around a grass track with Tony, my old coach, and he's still sort of in my life. I look at him probably more as like a mentor now. Sort of after every race I call him and talk through, and sort of if I was to listen to anybody about running, it would still be him, and stuff. Yeah, his sort of opinion probably matters the most.
It's interesting you say that, because on one of my previous podcasts I spoke to Liz Yelling, the Olympian marathon runner, and she was, the affection that she has for her coach even now, it's just amazing, and it's nice hearing you speak about your coach, and I can see after listening to Liz that the same's going to happen to you. It's that he's going to stay a huge part of your life.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's sort of almost like a granddad figure, but also like a friend at the same time. And when I come back, so I've got coaches here at Loughborough, but when I go back to Northampton, we do sort of track sessions on Malton and stuff. He'll sort of come with me and take me, and he's got loads of athletes who are looking really good as well, and he'll sort of shape their sessions around my session to help me, but to also help them. So yeah, that really helped.
So who's your biggest competition at the moment with the 1500 metres?
So at the moment, I think I'm ranked 3rd or 4th in the UK, senior-wise. I mean, you could say the likes of like Josh Kerr and Jake Whiteman, but they're a bit older than me, and they've ran like 3:31. I'm on 3:38. So I don't know. There's a couple of guys.
Still close.
7 seconds isn't like close. But there's a couple of guys years older than me who have run 3:36 and stuff. I've just came back from Germany where I ran 3:38 in Funkstadt, I think it's called. And then I've got another race this Saturday in Dortmund, where I'll hopefully sort of run 3:36 if the race goes to plan. So yeah, it's fun.
Are you hoping to get beer at the end of this race? You got beer at the end of the last one.
Yeah. I don't know. If you win the race, it's normally prize money, but because of COVID and stuff, they don't have like the financial resources, so they think that sort of the next best thing is beer. In fairness, the Funk stuff, they gave us the beer from the actual brewery, which was quite cool. But yeah, I'd rather have a check.
So I'd rather, being a 20-year-old, mostly you think I'll be out nightclubbing, bars. Okay, we got COVID at the moment, but you sound like you do relax. You do have a beer. Obviously, you're not having one every night. You're not having it, but you're not really strict with your diet, or are you?
I kind of just eat like whatever I eat to like sort of fill me up. I mean, I've got a session today at sort of 4:00, so I'd make sure I have a good meal and stuff in the morning, and then another good meal sort of 3 hours before any session. But I mean, yeah, last night I had a beer with my meal. Beers are actually quite good for sort of recovery and stuff as well. But yeah, in first year at university, because I'm now in second year, I went out in freshers and sort of got it all out of my system. I can't remember, like I went 17 nights out in a row or something, which sort of knocked me back a couple of weeks, maybe months in training. But you've got your whole life in a way to be a professional athlete from 22 all the way until you're sort of 33 or something, I don't know. So yeah, I try and sort of enjoy it as much as possible and take sort of not a holiday, but at the end of sort of the track season in sort of September time, I try and sort of have a couple of weeks off, go on holiday somewhere, because yeah, when you get back into running it's fun, like when it's going well and rewards and stuff, but the training side of it does wear a bit thin sometimes.
So what is your training plan? What's a standard week? Or
so on Mondays I'd normally do 11 miles. So that may be sort of a 6 mile run in the morning, 5 miles in the evening, and then weights and core. Tuesday would be a session, probably in the evening, and then I'll do like a shakeout run in the morning. Wednesday would be a long sort of 10 mile run and core again. And then Thursday would be like a tempo, which I'd normally do around the race course if I was at home. So yeah, it's the best place to run in Northampton, sort of centrally anyway. It's quite flat and stuff. And then Friday I'd rest, and then Saturday a session, then Sunday a long run, which if I was back home would probably be 2 laps of Pittsford or something like that. And yeah, just do that week in, week out. Now that we're racing though, it's a bit different. So yeah, it changes with races. You sort of have to sort of rest a bit more before a race, so you're a bit fresher going into it and stuff.
So with what happened in Germany, and you got this race this week, and obviously we know Tokyo Olympics is not happening this year, it's next year. What's the next stages for you if you keep doing as well as you are and you go up the ranking? What's the...
Yeah, so I mean, if I run 3:36, which is sort of my aim, I'll only be 1 second off the Olympic qualifying standard. At the moment, I'm only 3 seconds off, so it's definitely doable. I improved last year by 3 seconds, so it's actually done me a favour, the Olympics being pushed back. I've also got the under-23 European champs as well, which was sort of my main goal, and then I started running these quicker times. I was thinking, hang on a second, I could maybe go sort of one better. So yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's also sort of the other like nitty gritty stuff of like signing contracts with brands and stuff, which I'm going to hopefully do. Yeah, because I mean, doing all this work's good, but at some point you've got to make a living out of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, you've got to be able to live off it if you do it properly. I mean, you can have a job and stuff, of course, and do it, but if you really want to, I don't know, medal at the Olympics or something like that, you've got to do it full time. The only way to do that is to financially earn something from it. So there'll probably be talks and stuff in hopefully September about signing something with a brand. But yeah, just keep working as hard as possible, and let the running do the talking, really.
So how have you coped during COVID, especially during the lockdown, because that would affect your training when you was only allowed out once a day?
Yeah. So yeah, my girlfriend, who also runs and stuff, I think, yeah, she's got more national titles than me, actually. She lives in the Lake District, quite isolated. So I stayed at hers for 8 weeks, and we sort of just did loads and loads of runs and stuff, like 10-mile runs sort of every day. And I just got really fit off that. It's so hilly and stuff, and it's just nice to actually be out there, and you just enjoy the runs. I don't know if people sort of know about the Lake District, but you've got Ennerdale and like Crummock, and there's all these different sort of really nice runs and stuff up there. You sort of just enjoy it, and it takes the sort of the situation which was happening at the time away. They've also got a gym, so to be able to do my 2 runs, I'd do 1 run and then I'd go on the treadmill for the other run. And yeah, so I was there for 8 weeks, and then by the time I came back, we were allowed to go out a bit more and stuff. And then we were allowed to sort of meet other households, and now I'm living with all my friends in student athlete house. So we're all runners in this house.
So you've got it all around you. You're living and breathing, running at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, all the guys in the house are going to Germany as well to race. So it's quite nice. We all do it. We're all sort of in it together and stuff, which is good. And yeah, I think it sort of helps as well. We all sort of we all like to talk about other stuff other than running as well, which is quite nice. So it's not so intense, and you can get a bit of a break from it.
So it was interesting, and that's why I was smiling on the video, as you can see, when you were saying about the Lake District and that you was having a good time. I noticed in your training plan you didn't say hills, or do you make sure that when you're doing your 10 miles or whatever that you include the hills in that to build up the strength?
Yeah, I mean, all the easy runs and stuff, hopefully there'd hopefully be sort of hills and stuff in it. I did 1 run, I can't remember where it was, but it was 1,500 foot of elevation in like 6 miles, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, some Saturday sessions are like 10 times 1 minute hills and stuff like that as well. So some sessions have hills in, just to sort of build the strength up. And sort of in Loughborough, when we do our easy runs, there's this sort of national park, which is just up and down constantly all the way. So we do that in a normal week, and then obviously when it comes to race, we'd stick to more flat stuff to sort of rest the legs as much as possible.
And have you found your ideal trainers? There's lots of topics you hear on social media, but you always guarantee that once a day someone will say, have you found your favourite trainer? Have you found yours?
Yeah, I think I've got multiple. I don't know, I've got them here actually. I've got the Next Percent one, which you've probably seen quite a few park runners run now. So I've got that one, which is probably one of my favourite ones. It does help with your times and stuff, I think. And then, you just put it on, you've got like this rocking motion, which sort of spurs you on forward, and then you've got the foam and the carbon plate, which is in it as well, and it sort of all just works really well. They've actually just been banned, I think, from being able to be worn on the track. But you're still allowed to wear them on the roads and stuff. But on the track, you're not allowed to wear them anymore. So that's probably my favourite trainer. Then you've got the Pegasus 37, which is just like quite a good shoe as well, I think. So I think at the moment I'm getting support from Nike through like kits and stuff, so I get all my kits sent to me and stuff, which is good. It definitely helps out. When I've had to buy kits in the past, you sort of forget how expensive it is and how expensive a pair of shoes are. I'm sort of lucky that I get sent multiple pairs of shoes, and I can sort of make them last until I get my next kit drop. I'll probably actually get more excited for it than Christmas. It is like Christmas, you get sent so much, which is good.
Imagine when you get to the Olympics. Wow.
Yeah.
Your birthday and Christmas together. You'll get everything.
Yeah, I know. Just to go to Tokyo would be cool in itself, let alone the Olympics.
Oh, fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, I don't think the time will be an issue. I think it will just be getting top. So you've got at the British Champs, you've got to come top 2 to automatically secure yourself, and then they choose one other person who they think's eligible to go basically for 15. So I don't think the time will be an issue. It's just there's probably about 7 guys who are going to have the standard. So you have to come top 3 out of those 7. Yeah, which is sort of the issue at hand, because everyone on their day could make an Olympic final. It's just so strong at the moment, sort of the British 1500 metres. Yeah, it's a shame I'm not in the men's 5K or something, because that's not quite as strong as it previously has been.
But then you wouldn't be challenging yourself.
Yeah, and everyone, 1500's the blue ribbon event in athletics. It's sort of one everyone sort of wants to watch and stuff.
Yes.
That and the 100 probably.
You want to be up there with Dame Kelly Holmes, you know.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
So what are you, a track or a road runner? Which do you prefer?
I probably prefer track. I like road because there's not much pressure. Because I am a track runner. When I go on the road, it can be a bit more enjoyable. Yeah, I like all the road races. They're quite fun. I did one. Yeah. I mean, I've done the parkruns and stuff, which I sort of remember on like the second lap, when you come around, you have to weave in and out of people, which is quite fun as well.
Obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely. You got people shouting "runner" coming through and stuff. So that's good fun. And then I did one in Ireland where was about 25 people went sub 14 minutes of 5K. Wow. And it was at night time around this square just in an Irish town. And you had everyone in the inside sort of shouting at you, and you just get it was like an absolute blur. That was really fun as well. So I think the atmosphere for the road races I've done personally are probably better than the track races I've done so far.
Okay.
But hopefully as I go a bit higher up in the competition, you get more spectators at the track events and stuff. And yeah, I like Monaco Diamond League looks really cool. And then all the big world champs and stuff like that look good.
And well, you must, with parkrun, seeing the attendance, especially at Northampton, we have average 500 there. That must give you a bit of an idea of support and that as well. You know, having all those runners, and as you're going by, cheering you as you're going round.
Yeah,
you've got a taste.
Yeah, there's definitely more sort of participants and spectators in road races and stuff like parkrun. Yeah, I mean, what's the record for Northampton?
The record is 708, and we did that. Okay. Yeah, we did that in leap year this year, and I swear that's because we reversed the course.
Oh, right.
And so everyone came. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it shut down.
Going downhill slightly.
Yeah, and we thought it'd be harder, but no, we had so many attend. It was chucking with rain, but just feel that everyone at the race course got boards going one way. So for the one day,
the other way.
Let's all go.
Yeah, I suppose you got the longer hill, haven't you, which drags a bit more.
Yeah,
but you go down the sharp one a bit more.
Yeah. So are you a hot or cold runner, especially, with this heat at the moment? As you can see, I keep patting my face. So
yeah.
How are you? This is perfect for you?
Yeah, for 1500 and shorter distances, you want to sort of be a bit hotter. Sort of the start of every track season, I go away to Portugal for warm-up training. So it's, in March, April time, it's probably like 23 or 24 degrees there. So it's not as hot as it is now, but it's hotter than it is in the UK at that time of the year. And it just, it helps the muscles and stuff, basically, to run quicker and stuff. So, yeah, probably hot. The race in Germany I did last week, at 9 o'clock, it was still like 28 degrees. And the one this weekend coming in, my race is at 6 o'clock, and I think it's about 30 or something. So for those sorts of, if the sun's not beaming down on you and it's just that temperature, it's perfect. But yeah,
good practice for Tokyo. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I imagine it's hot there as well.
Yeah, exactly. You'll have a great time. You will do it. So I've just seen as well yesterday you've released a YouTube video. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't really know what it's about. I just sort of got a bit bored of posting stuff on Instagram. I started to sort of think that I've got people who want to know what sort of training I do, and I think when I was a lot younger, looking at other guys, I really wanted to know what sort of training they did as well. And and stuff. I still want to know what the top guys do. I'm not going to tell like everyone absolutely everything I do, but I don't think there's that much harm in people knowing. Everyone in 1500 or 800, they do similar sessions. Everyone knows what everyone kind of does. I suppose people don't know what times you run for them in sessions, so I thought I'll just do a little film of one. A couple of my mates in the house and stuff are quite good on the photography, so I think we're going to push it and get some more content out. I think we'll do one for the trip to Germany. We'll film the whole thing and see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. I've almost got 200 subscribers already or something. And
yeah, and I think it's a brilliant idea. No.
Yeah, so, and my agent said that I need to sort of, I don't know, try and get as much of a following as possible, because it helps with contracts and stuff like that. Everything sort of helps.
Yeah, got to raise your name, raise awareness of
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. Yeah, you got to do it yourself. So I thought I'll give it a go, and hopefully, yeah, I mean, everyone said it was quite good and stuff. So yeah, I'll keep it going. I'll try and get sort of 2 or 3 videos out a month. Hopefully the followers will build up on YouTube, and
yeah, and definitely doing your races. That would be brilliant. Getting them out there as well.
All the races are filmed anyway, so I can just put that into the video. It's quite simple. And yeah, it should be good.
And are you keeping a journal of your experience?
Not really, no. I mean, I try, so I go months writing down on my session and stuff, and I forget about a couple, and I think there's no point. And then someone tells me again that I need to do it. But I've got Garmin Connect. I don't have Strava. But
doesn't count. It's not on Strava. It doesn't count, Josh. You know that.
Yeah, well, I've got it on Garmin Connect, so I'll take that as okay. Yeah, I might just create not a fake Strava, but I'm quite nosy to see what other people are doing, so I might just put my name under something else. And have a look at what people are doing.
Sneaky.
I feel like I'm missing out on everything. I suppose I've just contradicted what I said about letting everyone know what I'm doing, but I mean, yeah, not everything.
Well, there's some bits of yourself you want to keep private.
Yeah. No, so I use Garmin Connect and track all the, I don't know, the data of what my weekly mileage is looking like and stuff. And so I've watched it drop slowly as I get close to my races, which is nice to see.
Right, so we know that you like beer, you're not on Strava, you know.
I don't sound like much of a runner.
No, you don't. But get on seriousness. If there's a runner out there now that's at school, you know, or similar age, younger to you, who is, you know, pretty good but hasn't got the confidence or like the support that you had, what would you say to them?
I think just enjoy it. There's so many people that have stuck at it for so long, and now they're getting sort of England best. There's a lot of guys who don't have much talent when they initially start. But if you just sort of chip away at it and just ignore other people, ignore what other people say, ignore what other people do, and just focus on yourself. I was really bad at the night before a race, going on Power of 10 and checking out every guy that's in the race and seeing what times they've run, what their PBs are and stuff. And it just sort of wound me so much up that I didn't focus on myself and I didn't run as well. So I'd just say focus on yourself and have like faith in what you're doing, and also like try and build a network up if you can. Sort of ask people for help, run with other people, see what people are doing, and just sort of create like a friendship group within running as well if you possibly can. I think that helps to make it like a social thing as well. Because running can be boring if you do it on your own, but if you have people with you, it just goes so much quicker.
Josh Lay, a name to keep an eye out for. It just shows what you can achieve if you dump the Xbox but stick to the odd beer. I'm looking forward to monitoring Josh's progress and will keep you up to date on the Running Tales podcast.